Hello and welcome to Business as Usual. Today I am at the Butler Coffee Lab with Nadine Tripodi, and I'm so excited to come and talk to you about this unique business right here in Butler. You're located right across the street from Rite Aid. And so I'm curious, how on earth did you get into coffee?
Well, we got into coffee because we both certainly enjoy coffee, but we were really looking for something, that we could do to give back to our community at this stage of our lives. So we looked at some other organizations and talked about, do we help like by investing or asking if they need help, or nothing seemed to work out. So that combined with the fact that I have a daughter with special needs who's in her 40s, and I know what a struggle it is for people that aren't in the mainstream of life, trying to find purpose and trying to especially find employment. So my husband has a history of a lot of design and development and business acumen in creating new things. He had worked on projects with Keurig in the past, knew a lot about the K-cups and the Keurig machines and that whole system. He said, maybe we should just try making our own. It's easy enough to do. It's a process that really involves like filling, weighing, sealing, and quality control.
It's all kind of scientific.
Yeah, but it's simple. I mean, it is something that you can teach anybody to do, pretty much.
So I find it really interesting that it wasn't actually coffee that was the passion for coffee that started, but more involved wanting to help people with special needs who could maybe. So here at the Coffee Lab, do you employ people to help you with this project?
Oh, absolutely. And our goal is always to be at least 75% of our staff being people with some kind of special needs or a barrier to employment.
Wow. And how many people would you say do work here at the Coffee Lab?
Currently, I would say 8.
Wow.
But we also have fingers into other things. Like there are some artists in Butler with special needs that will contribute portions of art that we can put on labels. Also, we sponsored a art show with Butler Art Center for people with special needs to try to promote that. Let's get involved. Everybody's an artist. If we can actually do that, use their art in our products, we put their name on it and say art by.
That's very nice. Well, I noticed behind us that you have all these different flavors of coffee and beautiful labels on them. So that's what you mean when you're talking about the labels.
Correct.
So let's talk about the coffee a little more. You actually put the coffee pods together right here in this building.
Correct.
And how do you decide how to mix the flavors, and how did you deal with the whole process of making coffee? How does that occur?
Well, first of all, we needed a good coffee.
Okay.
We were complaining about the quality of coffee we were drinking, and it was we just need to find something that we really like. And quite by accident, we had taken a grandson to Oregon because he was looking at the university there. And while I was off shopping with him, Terry was in the bookstore, ordered a coffee, and he was just like, wow. And we're looking at him like, oh my gosh, what happened? And it was really just that aha moment that this is really good. So our grandson did some research for us after our trip was over and found out where the coffee came from. We contacted the roaster, and he is in the Eugene, Oregon area. And we've been using him ever since for the base coffees.
Wow. So this coffee that you get from Oregon, what is unique about it?
First of all, his roasting method. Okay. He does an infrared roast, which actually doesn't burn a bean. It kind of cooks it from the inside out, and he's got the technique down to exactly when you pull it out.
Okay.
And it gives you a smooth, non-acidic cup of coffee, but flavorful.
Yeah.
So
sounds like my kind of coffee. No heartburn, no any of that stuff.
That's my kind of coffee.
Yeah. And so when you put them together, I notice you have all kinds of bins here. So as far as like selling your coffee, can people just walk in off the street and say, I want this and this and this and mix it up?
Yes.
And do you sell to businesses? How does the whole retail part work?
Well, that we're really working on that right now, with marketing and sales efforts. A lot of people do walk in. Fortunately, now we are organized enough that everything's in bins, and you'll see it on the side too, where you can come in and mix and match coffees, teas, lemon drinks, hot chocolates, and put that into a single order.
Okay.
So that's our walk-in crowd. The other part of it is online sales, and we're trying to perfect our website right now to the point where it's easy to use, where you can go in and not only order, like an espresso blend coffee, but you could say, I want 2 pods of espresso blend, 2 French roasts, 3 decaf, which is a little bit unusual. Usually, if you're buying coffee, it's in a box, and even if it's a variety, it's
like, oh, yeah,
the variety somebody else decides.
You're right.
So that's a unique option for what Butler Coffee Lab offers.
Now, do you deliver these coffees or do people come pick them up? Because I noticed your girl running out the door with a bag full of coffee for someone. So,
well, a lot of the local shops we deliver, and we check on a regular basis to see what their inventory is like, and of course we can also ship.
So people can go into some local businesses in the area and purchase these coffee pods.
Absolutely. And I think one of the important things is we really did not want to be competitors to the existing coffee shops here. They are good businesses, good products, and the move we made with them was to say, well, if you want us to take your coffee and put it in coffee pods and label it the way you want it labeled, we'd love to do that for you.
How can people help you create more employment opportunities for people with special needs?
Wow. Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because I think the whole mission of Butler Coffee Lab is to hire people with special needs, but also to train people and give them opportunities for training. We may not keep them forever, but at least after an experience here at the Coffee Lab, they may have more experience, but also more confidence in moving on to other jobs. So we have a lot of families that will contact us directly. They'll either call us or stop in and say, I have a loved one with special needs. We look at it right now, it's our job to interview those people. That's part of a training process.
That's true.
So if they can at least get the experience of going for a job interview, that's huge, because how often do they get that chance? So that would be one way. The other way, we look to businesses and organizations to consider Butler Coffee Lab for fundraising opportunities. I think we can put together an attractive package with our 7 tubes, or we have a 3-tube package that can go into gift baskets. We look at special events, weddings with labels on with the bride and groom's name, or special retirement or birthday. So there are a lot of opportunities that will help us to grow, and that's key to keeping the employment numbers up.
Nadeen, it sounds like you have kind of almost a full house here, and you've really expanded. Do you foresee in the future, hopefully expanding even further, like to other areas and things like that?
Absolutely. And we would love to see this grow to the point where we can have different, almost satellite locations. Not that we operate, but that we teach other people how to operate. There are a lot of opportunities for companies and organizations that work with people with special needs. It's a simple process to set up. We'll do everything in our power to help them get set up, to make sure that the quality control is there, to help train people. It's kind of like a franchise model, but we don't want to be a franchisee.
Yeah.
We just want to be able to see this grow and continue to provide more and more jobs.
How can people find out more about the Butler Coffee Lab?
Well, the easiest way is our website, which is butlercoffeelab.com.
Okay. Well, Nadine, I have really enjoyed talking to you, and I know I want to maybe put together a few samples to take back to the office.
Absolutely.
And I think that if you are interested in finding a different kind of coffee, this is definitely the place you want to check out. For Armstrong, this has been Daneen O'Donnell with Business as Usual. Thanks for watching this episode of Business as Usual. If you want to see more, just click on the playlist button up here. To keep up to date with all the shows from the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel, you can click on the subscribe button down here. See you next time.